and you might be to lead to so ubenya stroke, it be a smoking, it be a drinking, which the previous session we talked about it. We will be out to smoke here, it be releasing certain hormones, now constricted blood vessels, a constricted blood vessels are more gentle in the sunny. Now can lead to stroke. Minya story be said maybe man be a okobon match. And ya a crack it to be okobon match. My one so no. All these risk factors. We have one draw do overweight plus or high blood pressure. And a young girl also there. No ohri I know ohri and no you yan say papa e die or that crazy, you know. There was a granity muma a growth be pia papa no to baby no yan baby ko. Papa no cry into ya can name na. Yeah. Girl on the fire na you call the baby.
Døggy ekunu.
Ekunu cry, I didn't know Asamando.
Living in Ghana, abroad, a first-timer visiting Ghana, or a company wondering where to get quality service providers in Ghana for any job, then a Jumapa On-Demand Services is here to assist you. A Jumapa On-Demand Services connect requesters and service providers such as masons, plumbers, electricians, auto repairers, home and office cleaners, trash collectors, rent agents, spa attendants, roofers, beauticians, teachers, CCTV installers, and all artisans on one platform. Yes, one platform. Trust a Jumapa On-Demand Services to sort you out any day, anywhere, and at any time. To download the app, please visit the App Store and Play Store or visit our website www.ejumapa.com.
Ebusa for more about SVTV Africa so be the many chain for me America couldn't come more mene nananya kwa ba be din komo on the magasha mo say hwe apomudin very important mene ni kwakudin komo na I started the Bremons amanfo energy amanfo suade see suade tap sense me kan mo say o UK o Europe o Canada o America o Australia ana o UAE a ubetimi amanisika abrewadofo ewo Ghana enti de tie ni ko Play Store ne App Store na download tap send o download tap send na o fill forms kit we be bisa o promo code channel so na type SVTV o manisika efi UK a ubenya bonus first transfer ubenya £5 bonus o Europe ubenya €5 bonus o US ubenya $10 a year bonus enti download tap send o Play Store ne App Store na manisika ebre obusuan for now for ne adofo ewo Ghana ejumapa se menkancha mo se unya artisans tyler painter plumber steel bender electrician carpenter auto repairs ne ade a ejumapa se menkancha o se ko omo website www.ejumapa.com and omo contact number and o screens no so no ubetimi from o abruche o pese o project bi wa senisika be fie sa manfo di usika now for ibusuanfo ejumapa se fa project ne form so ombe ya ma na chese ukọ na ukọ request ya omepe obi na waye wujuma na ma baby project no Ghana bia no trust ejumapa insa no ejuma opese usua IT course number 1 Slam Technologies through cyber security any either IT programs Slam Technologies omo obi wo Ghana sa so no omo obi nso wo USA ohia Slam Technologies contact on numbers the good screens so no from CCA na chese osua cyber security and other programs Slam Technologies number 1 ohia Airbnb wa Accra Parry group of companies I mean kan mo say omo 3-bedroom fully furnished Airbnb ewo Dansoman Estate saso no omo 1 and 2 bedroom apartment ewo English amount from near Westers Mall for Parry group of companies numbers na wo screens no uhia baby a obako da ananse obako dwodwo ho a for Parry group of companies nana memo akwa abako de
me adum DJ na we
me so be o pa me hu se o hwe feedbacks kakra last week the other bre omo no me hu se amanfo energy ho omo usua ade addition they are very important but all kind comments the media
I make a couple of the comments, and I think say it be also be my response to a bit to say A1C or maybe so 5.7 SHS and so on and so forth. Emma, when your response, and obviously besides between honey, any sugar, then much better. And maybe feel say honey will always be better than regular sugar because most of honey is natural from bees, But again, BBI is in moderation. So I will say share. Nah. And I'll so say me say plantain in your carbs. Plantain carbs on there, but once the carbs and it will move two types. Your starch one and your so at the end of the day, again, plantain so would dear and only way better saying would be bunching because of the distinction between the carbs and the starch part, So in as much as most of the food types carbs, maybe what carbs near better than others. And we think that you two amount for when it comes to Nyania or Moody and the selections that they make. Yeah.
Okay, and now about Nana Nyakwa registered nurse or on US or New York City, Bronx, Meboa.
Trying.
Bronx for Naba. Now and also then how they bring.
And two topics are you better tackle a stroke, any nosebleeds. Yeah, I did have mouth for that.
Stroke dear, and it dear doors one. Dear Siciano, near himself, in painful numpo na ye tanya, but Siciano, academies no so. Omunye bipa young ones no.
Correct.
Intiane as some of our they are very important. It's you. Until then I'll catch over to you. I'm going to start with stroke.
Stroke. Stroke Arabia kwesi broni friend emergency disease or a medical emergency. In other words, it me too impofrimu. So and the reason stroke and it says sometimes there is an interruption in the blood flow to the brain. And most of the time it could be so many factors, but Kwesi Bronia narrowed it down to three major factors. TIA, which we call like mini stroke, and it means to say hemorrhagic, and another one to say ischemic. Then on breaking it down, now so being a stroke symptoms most of the time are obehu. It be a say or difficulty in speaking. Once or kasakrana kasana say emba or person can't see me but kasanemba and also or slur one speech or pronounce BB crown out or bre na or pronounce. And then there's this other one so being a numbness or be or heart stroke affecting the left side once and then in ajojo. And then there's another one. And also soon because any fan jojo say affected half of body which is say right side of the body now. We won't say affecting the crown so I feel ni so into me in who papa because blood vessels, which is the arteries or veins or the tiny blood vessels are mojani oxygen dimufusan, and there has been an interruption. There's a blockage into baby other part of mojani was say a frokono hono enya bi and an better one side and on a money panel falling to sayariano and obin so or to me complaining say miti we want to say na winya stroke, all because again there has been an interruption of free flow of blood to and fro from the various blood vessels in the brain. And we should always remember say the blood vessels, they need the blood, the red blood cells and the oxygen and the various hormones and nutrients in our efro copano. So you say nipano obetumi enya apomodena things so bibi biara brain no ehia bia ebe manipana to me adwen now to me move the parts of the body because most of the things that goes through the brain and one boy my to me ebie yensem etumi to ye na nyina stems from the brain. Into any interaction biano it affects the parts of the body. So very, very important. I will say, yes, I said again, Obi was stroking, so I say, on Namano or Chin and Naba Kwasi. Ningan say, part of the brain of Mwaka, because there has been an interruption of blood to the part of the brain. Now, remember, I talked about 3 causes of stroke, and one, ischemic stroke. And no, there is an interruption. And most of the time, a fat. But funny same thing that the other time we talked about cholesterol. Say, BBN, it has to be in moderation. Inti said if there's too much cholesterol, fatty substance in the blood now, and also to make a clog part of the blood vessels in the brain. So due to the blockage, created that interruption, and that can also lead to stroke. And then we have the hemorrhagic one. Hemorrhagic one, it just say, mojane koba, but ebedu baby no, not some part of the blood vessel no, honma starts bulge to say pompo. Into pompon so they say shy do baby a bepai. To sign a hemorrhagic netie. That part of the blood vessel no, edu baby no, a bulge to the extent say I expand, I over expand na a pie. The pie not just a mojan a body but a besing echo. Into me from costron koye they will say tinina shigua nano susako say stroke transient ischemic attack and a TIA and now the friend mini stroke no, and also say another form of stroke, and also so no is as a result of an interruption, which could be anything in the bloodstream created that interruption. Now, the cause of factors are risk factors, and you might be to lead to so ubenya stroke, it be a smoking, it be a drinking, which the previous session we talked about it. We will be out to smoke here, it be releasing certain hormones now constricted blood vessels, a constricted blood vessels are more gentle in the sunny. Now can lead to stroke. And I blood pressure, the same thing we talked about it. Blood pressure, the more question with time, no pressure, no there will be a backlog, and also be to me cause stroke. Sana diabetes and so another one. Diabetes was because if the insulin wasn't released, and I said though it's been released, but then the cells are not being receptive, they are not opening up for the necessary your friend is saying cholesterol to pass through to go and break down and be absorbed as energy and all those things. Now, when there's a backlog, it can lead to stroke. And then we have head trauma. Obi oha ebia mpipra groya nkra groya na iti akobo anase akrebi or dampaswa na pepre na iti akobo anase obi one obi ku na yaboniti baby anase boxing. It could be anything, car accident. Ni nyina no se uti na ebo ho a na moja ko clog wo baby, and also so there will be an interruption. It can also lead to stroke. So after these factors, then and your mass will be your stroke. For example, so being your stroke, first of all, we're going to say nim half say we're going to say na achia or kasakra na no achia na nim achia na funo achia na say drop it. I think so in sabak either left or right, no to me muscle papa or struggle. In nice society, the same thing, no opinion nasi. And also another thing. And then Nippon also most of the time will be when you stroke, I know money Diani also we are very careful because half of the body now I affected a very difficult so best swallow into such a patient to be out the mom be and I was so or to when you can say, especially so many are in the early stages now. Maybe other mom be also a very liquidy now things so turbo and yes so choking so a big problem for the person. Another symptoms of be stroke say because initially nipa no a normal person as see and when you say arena we go through a lot of emotional distress in the sense we a normal person they be out to me sorry echo fro now out to kana so onante now quadrima for how far now that was I react to nothing would deform me. I definitely you have that emotional distress. Be now dream say, oh, I didn't idea to me. So most of the time, no, obi when you stroke, no, to go through this kind of emotional distress. Into such patients, very important. Say, I bring biano, you be encourage you, maybe 2 or 4. Now you know makasanya show crying say, oh, this thing can be temporal. That is with support plus medical assistance, any medications, it can be reversed depending on the type of stroke nipano. And then we are going to talk about preventative measures. That is, then preventing nipano from so obenya stroke. Again, blood pressure. We will be at tembiano, like oh blood pressure making sure that you check your blood pressure and opebia. We also or private blood pressure cuff I'll be checking and making sure so blood pressure and fall within the normal range. And as a doctor and so our medications are or that's why now we're making sure say offer and also so pepe. I remember say a few years ago there was this man and name no and man according to story na NNTI and just say Jumapa, all right. And the medications or suffer. And sometimes, as bearman, I am a breath, any a 1 or 2 bintin or bad to be on checking the blood pressure, then you are better. Into when it did the moana dacro, stress, you juma up and down, and your obedient and no penny baby die. One checking the blood pressure, one check your share. And or die at the action for friend human for a friend. And I just say I will say a conifie koshe the air coso because of being so no quantity. You could boo door ninsa egunebo and a woo. Ain't no say a real way no Arabia tembiano. I was so making sure say oh check it blood pressure no chibian colidi to be for from. And our cholesterol so always, like we said, also making sure say we meet any dairy product at the biano udino, usheni this annual money na or sort of checkups. Near making sure say annual money accumulated too much our bloodstream now could create problems that chink. We will be out smoking so advisable say I will say quality because annual money a constricted blood vessels not a preventive free flow. Obetumi for years. Obetumi akasoma no years enye mehwe. I remember said that crow that one. So I was say side no so. I think so when it comes to your weight now, I will say certain bia no your exercise. Exercise and yet 10 bia no exercise gidi. Sometimes obetumi anante and also say exercise. Sometimes maybe I'll be fasting and I'll be intermittent fasting and you say maybe from anopa 6 to maybe 12 wundidi not from 12 to maybe 4 no we bibi kakra name one musuo bi and now apple back be now I the same cycle it to be crying so na ebi odidi anopa na be a ewia no ndidi na nwumre so apple salad be di obetumi an sani nyina na beboa na nantie kakra workout kakra any intermittent fasting nyina eboa amount me lose weight and also so be preventing so obenya stroke daching. And also probably say occasional drinkers like or be a parties and not no Sunday those things. But then again you won't probably so almost no like 10 beer whether party no party onye biana obeno with time no it creates stress about the 2 major organs last week me bought the role which is the kidneys and the liver. And these great organs, so the more odinsa any other drinks are too much sugar or alcoholic drinks, with time, it creates pressure on those livers. Now, a moment to me filter these and your mouth consuming, and with time it shut it down. Nina back create pressure. Na lead to stroke in the emphasis side so na yeah. And then again after abia wenya sayare doctors on so behwe na nro I was here the mouth for example what I'm trying to say due to blood clot in a stroke. No, doctor bit me, I recommend it and I prescribe it in Robit as aspirin and I say heparin and I Plavix. Na or the amasin is a banana clots no. Na umojane to me dear for sunny ye ewo. I dream will not be beer atoye. And then we baby say, oh, say obi moja enyunu free obi chima. Doctors basically them omo machines be brea omo deni pan be shim. Na it may detect it be a CT scan, it be a MRI, and all these great machines, and so on and so forth. It may detect exactly the cause of that interruption of blood, free flow of blood to and fro from the brain. And almost me detect no more draw on my patient, na DJ stroke na baby
stroke assembly okay the common pa so sana me can beginning no o share young ones na eba no wabobo so kama but obi wo ha ga cho say ebi ni le busuem bi wo ha we busuem eno so mi bisa obi wo bega say busuem on le busuem de sa de we bi ni ho bi bisa o the lifestyle so on the lifestyle no de sa de we de busuem ni ho.
Okay, so stroke, definitely your genetic factors. And teaching in the also high blood pressure. What's high blood pressure? Genetic. And we know say high blood pressure can also lead to stroke. And if it's not necessarily stroke per se, so high blood pressure woman and high cholesterol levels and as a diabetes woman, all these risk factors, which we already mentioned, can lead to stroke. Until you don't necessarily have to see so obi in your stroke or busuemu and sana waka say oh meet me na seminya. Rather than these other risk factors, high blood pressure, diabetes, and so on and so forth, high cholesterol levels, all these risk factors, can lead to stroke. Intina I was here share and you're consuming, a lifestyle, smoking, drinking, eating more of these meat and dairy products, which can lead to cholesterol and so on and so forth. All these factors, can lead to stroke. So we have to watch our lifestyle. Very important.
Okay. Now, so since I acquire more of clots in sema okay. Yeah, causes idea no. You want you maybe why I say you normal in the ani bi nyama bi a di to say garlic ni nyama bi I say nani moja no krebi wo.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem. Again, like we said last time, no. BBBR we need to buy in terms of the refined product or medication side, no. Before the banana natural product, and we dependent most on it. In design your money and garlic is doing wonders in a lot of people's lives. Ginger, the same thing, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Onion, Jenny.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Design natural product in nano. So yeah, delta dear, no so bois, ipeduano. Yeah, TV to me after side no so. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Ntiyankwe, what's the next one here then?
So next one here, nosebleeds. Nosebleeds say moja pony will obi ehunimu. Yeah, now we baby say na sadi we cry free. Most of the time, the nosebleeds, it happens as a result. So any panic tired and inside. Most of the time, ABR or allergies. It could be any pan organ and as or approach baby, UK, US, wherever. Allergy season bar or the insashin because Nimuke and no tire side dear and now blow nose or the ahondina blow nose with time, no. A crack some of the tiny blood vessels never hunima na amamoja airpono. And there are other instances whereby ebia oni obi konya ntokwabi and I say accident na ohuni ko boho. It could be so many factors a bit me ako crack tiny blood vessels na ewo ohuni muno na amamoja no astarte airponi na obi baby say okay so say ni obi ewo sa problem na then na yeta the boa nipa no moja no etwa because the more moja nipa no lusu blood and also so on so ɛwɔ nipadua no so. Most of the time no ayana doctors ever prescribe it be a parking ayana be to say asawa ebi nso so we draw ma o park e de hye nipa ne hunu na say draw was a parking ni mu a de ba akọ ni say e ba akọ clock it moja na eba no na ama moja na e clot tie no sa na ache say ache no na prevent no from flowing in ebi nso so e be ma nipa no topical medication, and all doctors ne prescribe it. Bacitracin say a very wonderful. Uta de yini or the cotton in bad no. Eti a drone de sheni pan hum na utumi hu baby a ho ne one out to so our time no. A bit to me akosino. Amani pan ho atono. And then we have preventative measures. Then now bit me ayena nipana after winyano and twaso. Because obi onya nosebleed it me twice every day be onya and that's once a week and 3 times a week or twice a week and so on and so forth. Until then you bit me a preventing na nipa need to live your normal life and you ten biana ihuni moja enyuno. So we can use normal saline. Normal saline ye a dry to say nchine kakra wom. I say nsuo na nchine kakra wom. Na what the good nipa no hu obeta de go since I ten bia nipa no huni enye dry. No so cracky that tiny vessels and moja enyunu. And I think so such nipa no so no say environment or demuno a little bit drier. Normally no over so a friend is a humidifier. Aha over humidifier near in gum no plug in no was so na it created this vapor because I know a lot of people know about this humidifier. Time I covered by no even with the draw a gum no maso. Na ama environment na very conducive, right? So obia or suffer from nosebleeds environment near a little bit drier. Also a humidifier na eboa emanipa no so ehunu e kama na afin so what advice nipa ne say oh ayana say oh blow nose susu fa ahoden shim because the more pressure would must ehunu no and also create sa crack no ema edisa bleeding no eba and I think so advice say omo tadi omo nsahihye omo huni mu no obetumi akoti blood vessel no ama mo genuine rather no obetumi de unsa keke aye on the side and I say why you say since all do unsa be rera huni mu na eno so a create sa problem. Now besides treatment doctor be recommended ama obi a all nosebleed no your home remedies and so a bit me use which meaning obi obey me and no nosebleed problem pa and doctors medication prescribing man you try out several times na into me near Jumapa and manipano. By the end of the day, no home remedy near use and ebuani pano. But our home remedy me recommend more obia because obi or home remedy okay my member so first ba you kusuya and about milk. Obi or allergic to kusuya. Inti na me recommend more bia because say we are allergic to dairy product kusuya especially. I don't recommend that. And a milk, obi so or a lactose intolerant. Inti ne bi okono milk or chine bi na akwa hani fu na bibi. By the end of the day, say we need that issue and that's a problem with nosebleeder. Unya kusuya back, obo kusuya back. Na ebia carnation milk. O ushie tablespoon be say 6 beer. Now beatia manefra smoother. No one know. What was our nosebleed no? One know every day be no the same method. No ma with time no nosebleed in betra. And obi bisa say na milk ni kusia de. And then ekoye e woni pedua no ma nosebleed no etwa. Obeka so no ma say kogu yem ne ba ne say na ohune wa ha na oyefu ha. E ba ne say na okono ma de ya. And it is said that if I draw a koyem, but at the same time, a koyem, the same thing. But the medical side to kusiano, any milker, or the fra one no, a samujano is first of all, remember, say kusiawo protein, and a protein, no, it repairs worn out tissues. Say, baby, when you crew baby near udi any protein food biana. Eco repair sa ekro nti we so within a short time ekro bi nya unya ekro bi wo ho a udi anything with protein biana acha ani 3-4 days once any ekro ni healing enti enche se kusia side no kwa healing ekro no and a milk side no so ne dwuma ye ne se ekoklote moja no.
This Airbnb in Dansoman Estates, Accra, is only $40 a day and offers all the amenities for a comfortable stay. It is also conveniently located 30 minutes away from the airport. We also have 1 and 2 bedroom apartments for long-term rental at English Heat, Amamprum, 15 minutes to the Wedge Toll Booth and the West Hills Mall, going for 1,500 and 1,000 Ghana cedis only. Call Parry Group on 053-866-3532, 053-866-3532. This is Parry Group of Companies.
So the medical side, when it comes to kosiano ne milk BT the ma obi ane unya nosebleed, is because the kosia side has protein. Our protein say it repairs worn out tissues, and our milk side no has calcium, and a calcium no so ne say okoklote moja no se ni sia now moja no inse be since you know ebe clot na de den with time no protein side ne healing no na clotting side no so no e twa insuo no a eba besina de den na fe with time no nipa no ho ato no. So again, the treatment our hospital and most of the time no or doctor de be ma a bacitracin ointment I know ne be show how often now de be nipa no ehunimu umia kakra se temia ointment umia na odi aye wahwe nipa no hu na odi aye ekro no so and doctor Betcho say be aye once a day and not twice a day na afin so no Betcho say be a normal ceiling utu nipa tinwi mu na odi normal ceiling nsuo ni bi egu nipa ne hunim na ankoma setem bia ne hunim aye dry and afin so be nipa na da ne tem bia no aso humidifier na just say ama room hot temperature no be bia moist enough because I too dry so a bit me create sa issue no. Yo DJ, so will be become.
Okay, all right. So yamsha ade o kan ni very important, but ade ayenhye so if I say mini obi ti ho na moja feeling wini mo ba first and then me eya na ebisi ma oti sokosru say ebisi fa oti bra from say ebisi say ebisi so hwene ebisi ida na ese ansana yewo first aid bi wo a ese wo ye I don't know whether you be ko echi and how do ye anything then ese
so normally in so two we mu a moja na ekọ mu won say oba mini moja nti most of the time the advice say oba pinche ohune ho no na we suit ase since moja na be ko chi mu e was so suit ase mu na umia nose regional umia ni na ohome fa wonum and then the first thing and sani akofa parking no ebi a bit me ayasawa na bibi na e de ahye ho no and again like I recommended no se nipa na allergic to kosia ne milk ne sa ne mana obo kosia ba ko na milk no tablespoon is 6 na we biti ama na ayensuo na wanom obo so within a short time no na moja no etwa because immediately no protein side no from kosia side no ekoye ne dwuma ekokun ekro no na milk side na calcium na ewo mu no ekoklote moja no na ni nyina ama ade no etwa na afi no so somebody no hospital na doctor so no ehwe ebia it could be something else creating that problem because most of the time you know be obefo so we do tenya blood a nosebleed but ebia there's an underlying factor too. It's also to me the call na yehwe say if there's no obi or ebia cancer being starting you never know. You have to go and do that further test and then also so yeah.
I see. But when men be so backside na check upon no doggy no stroke the Emma biana. Because I am say tap I check upon the backside that you see and also a course no crebi wana and no cre.
Then again, no, it is possible. It is possible. It is possible because blood pressure did that. Maybe I don't check your blood pressure another day, no cry, no, activity in the because so now pressure was lower. So it can also trigger that and it can lead to that. So it is possible. I mean, your story be said maybe man be a okobon match. And ya a crack it to be okobon match. My one so no. All these risk factors we for draw do overweight plus high blood pressure. And a young girl also there no ohri I know ohri say no you yan say papa e die or that crazy there was a granny team mama a grofo be pia papa no to baby no yan baby ko papa no cry went ya can name na yeah girl on the fire na you call the baby
Doggy
ekunu cry I don't know asamando.
Hey, I now try see a check your BP in Yama way and Sunny.
Very important because once a performance, it is a wuchu emika. In an wakoma boni adi into one case our blood pressure, BBI extra accelerated. So also check with Nana, ABS drubbing also offer before the time what far we drew. Now my BBI but normal until say even no activity no cause na nyoma still no then you okay. Since I won't far we drew. Na bibia I trigger na be pressure.
Hey, and yeah, who checking out pressure higher and yes, so much.
You can so much because I was so to me fair, bro. Paying be the young girl because she baby we could you talk. Ebi one of the pressure was through. On na hotel. If I was here, see we tebu BP one. BP because was the last week when we talked about or the previous week we talked about high blood pressure no can say so you're young or be metabolism be fast but when na be is slow be tab be time so you're penny now near crack or match you should know say league but you're faster single so into one now open, one I was all check making sure say be correct now they face it the eba.
And yes, I won't check my BP and send them up for me. Yes, sir. If you go away, you try to give her base time side. You go with yeah, no. See, I got about match. I see a crab BP machine. Let me check my BP first. Let me check my BP first. I hate the job. So check your BP first before you go perform. Other than that, your BP will go. So Obana the BP ni at the end was through there. And it doesn't matter. By money there, we have to check.
Oh, it depends because so one check here. As an activity, because when we do no, you see. That's also blood pressure was showing the side and one check here. Now it's a power in the middle of nowhere now, or blood will be because we're also so bit me a hydri. So it doesn't really matter. So you have a banner bear, you know, and be making sure say, oh, you're okay, be okay, then you're okay, match now. Oh, pressure no cause you okay. Since I want
to so phone drew and son walk home. Other than that, you go obituary and the advice I can we are Berman out shame say see nama bad man for no good for whole BP machine for him in pocket inside. He go no say let me check my BP first. Other than that, claim me that. I see a general man be brain one. And someone when you might just on your way before you see us. So, before go here, no booze, go be Nana,
Yes,
and I said, and Ode Abegu, and only a better side, Ode, and Church when you're bay, a good, yet the more ones beba, the used to idea cracker, yeah, that's it. Nanya Qua, yeah, that's it. Say this week, so when you're married, Yamia next week, yeah, another one beba, take a cracker. Mo feedback no so important. Nana o kind mo feedbacks no. The feedback no so important. Bibia ubetime atro comment section bibia ubetime so dey aba out. Ti Nana, me da say why?
That's it.
I'm friend ma ba ko pe. All the best.
So that's all the best. Thank you.
Nice one. Mutie Nana Nyako straight from New York or a registered nurse. I'm in a program where I say so. First time I'll share videos. No one say, menina started a treaty with Moga Cracker. You know, you see, idea. Makajam Saha, you see, idea. TB, very important. I'll put Mudim soon here. It's very important. When I want to say, family DJ Nyame, subscribe to your channel and share video. No matter maybe, nebeboa. Two.
Young penny for baby say, if you are sing her, obi ni ma, obi che. Why na chill? Say we pay IT, who they won ye, say we pay support. Slam Technology say your number one partner. Your office will US in ye, your office will Ghana, so ye, your numbers ni kuhono. Say we should share IT classes, we hear career coaching, we hear support for business, cyber security. Free na your partner. Yaba Wow. Slam Technologies, transformation with excellence. Phrases, ya baby biarao, wow.
Hi there, my name is Calibos, the only boss with one S. Happy new month to all of you. Welcome to a month of new possibilities. Do you know why life has been made so easy? It's because of Tap Send. People, Tap Send is here to make your life easy if you want to transfer money to Ghana, if you want to transfer from USA, if you want to transfer from UK, Europe, Canada, a lot of places all to Ghana. And guess what? When it comes to Ghana, there's no e-levy charge. So, what are you waiting for? Download Tap Send on Google Play Store and App Store and be ready for exciting offers coming your way each time, every time on Tap Send.
Tap Send. Send more, spend less.